Okay. A few weeks ago, a friend came up to me and was like, Brandon, what's your top 10 NBA players? What is your list? And at the time, I was like, well, it's easy. LeBron's on there, James Harden's on there, KD's on there. Then I sat there and thought about it, and I was like, it's easy to have 10 players, but it's hard to make a list. Because there's so many factors when it comes to who's a better NBA player. Stats, so points, rebounds, assists. Then there's their impact, their success. So how's the team doing? Their plus minus. All that put together, it's harder than it looks, and it's harder when you think about it because it's easy to come up with maybe your top three guys, your top four guys in order. But then you get the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and those small things such as plus minus, efficiency rating. There's so many things to take a part of. So here I am a few weeks later, and I have my list. And I'm here to share my list. And I gotta be honest, I'm pretty confident. So let's get started with number one. Number one's easy. LeBron James. He's the best player in the world. I don't care how many points he has, how many rebounds he has, how many assists he has. All I care about is this number. The Lakers are 5-9 without LeBron James. 5-9 without LeBron. LeBron is one of the best athletes in the NBA. One of the best athletes we have ever seen step onto a basketball court. He is the most important player to a franchise. The Lakers are the ninth seed. If the playoffs started today, the Lakers would not be in it. LeBron carries this team. There's no playmakers. Lonzo isn't really a playmaker. Brandon Ingram isn't a playmaker that carries the team. Same with Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, Lance Stevenson. Rondo's injured. JaVale McGee. There's nobody on this team that really sticks out. There's no all-stars except for LeBron. LeBron's doing it all by himself. He's making the other players look good. That being said, though, LeBron James has weaknesses just like every other player. LeBron has never been the greatest shooter. We know that. He's not very good at shooting threes. He will make threes when the game is on the line, but it's not consistent. And another big flaw in LeBron James' play is that he cannot make free throws, and we all know that. It's been his whole career. It's been like that. He can't shoot free throws. LeBron needs to work on his free throws. If he wants to win another chip, he needs to work on his free throws. Plain and simple. He's cost his team games this year, and they have losses just because he can't make free throws. Plain and simple. LeBron James hasn't always been the greatest shooter, but he is still the best player in the NBA. Next player. Now, number 2 and 3 can be highly debatable. You've got Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's almost top 5, top 10 in every category. The reason why Giannis Antetokounmpo is the second best player in the NBA, in my opinion, is because the Milwaukee Bucks are the first seed in the Eastern Conference. And they also have the best winning percentage in the NBA. Giannis has also proven to be one of the best offensive players in basketball right now. He has the second highest efficiency rating in the NBA. Efficiency rating is used to measure a player's per minute performance. And Giannis is ranked second in the NBA in efficiency rating. The Bucks are number 1. Giannis has been proven to be statistically great offensively. The man uses his reach and wingspan perfectly. He could rebound the ball, he could dribble the ball, he could pass the ball. He's so elite offensively and defensively. But his weaknesses are bigger than most people realize. Giannis Antetokounmpo is incapable of shooting the basketball. Like, literally incapable. He cannot shoot threes. His mid-range is okay, like a B. Let me tell you something. Giannis Antetokounmpo gets a shot. If he gets a three-point shot, he passes LeBron, in my opinion. LeBron will not be number 1 for long if Giannis Antetokounmpo could shoot the basketball. If he learns how to shoot the basketball and adds that to his already almost perfect game, Giannis Antetokounmpo is on his way to being the number 1 NBA player in the world. Hey, you never know, right? Coming at number 3. Number 3, James Harden. Let me ask you something. Is there an offensive player in the NBA that's better than James Harden? Let me tell you what, that step back that he has might be one of the greatest moves that we have seen in the NBA. Oh my goodness, is James Harden a force to be reckoned with? First in points, third in assists, second in steals per game. James Harden does everything right. His defense has improved. James Harden, over 100 defensive possessions, is top 30 in points allowed. That is great. He used to be in the bottom 10 a couple of years ago. James Harden wants to win. The only reason why he's not second is because the Rockets are the fifth seed. And it's not like James Harden is playing with a bunch of bums. He's got Eric Gordon. When Chris Paul and Capella come back, he's going to have a better team. The Rockets are the fifth seed. James Harden might be the best scorer in the NBA right now. You can make an argument for being the best player in the NBA. He's one of the only players to get an A+ in every offensive category. 3-pointers, mid-range, inside scoring, handles. James Harden could do everything. James Harden could make a big shot for you. One problem with James Harden, though, is that he hasn't proven it to me. He hasn't won it in the playoffs yet. He lost in Game 7. He lost in 7 games to the Golden State Warriors. What can he do now? What can he do in a stacked Western Conference? Now with LeBron, the Warriors got Boogie. We know what the Western Conference can do. We don't know what James Harden can do, though. And I'm curious to see. James Harden has potential to be the number 1 player in the NBA. He just has to prove it. You see the stats. You see his play on the court. One of the best players. But can he prove it to me come playoff time? We'll see. James Harden comes in at number 3. Let's go to the next player. A lot of you guys won't agree with me, but Kawhi Leonard is the 4th best player in the NBA. Now let me tell you why. While Milwaukee, Golden State, the Lakers, Denver, they're all making the headlines, the Toronto Raptors have been sitting 2nd place in the Eastern Conference and 2nd overall in winning percentage. Kawhi Leonard has been a major part of that. Kawhi Leonard does everything you want out of a small forward. What is one thing you could think of that Kawhi Leonard is bad at? A C- or below. Can you tell me? Because I can't think of one. He could score. He could play defense. Top 3. He's a top 3 two-way player in the NBA. Raptors are the 2nd seed. He doesn't do anything bad on the court. He's quiet. The only thing that's bothered me about Kawhi is last year's antics. Holding out when the Spurs need him the most. Didn't play. I don't like that. But we're not talking about off the court stuff. We're talking about him on the court. Kawhi's got a great mid-range. He could drive. He's physical. He's a great athlete. He's been there. He's done that. He has a ring. Kawhi Leonard is one of the best players in the NBA, and he proves it every time he steps onto the court. The Raptors are a threat. Kawhi Leonard is a threat. And like I said before, while everybody's talking about, well, can the Warriors repeat? Is LeBron going to go to another finals? What is Milwaukee doing? By the end of the year, by the end of the basketball season, you'll be like, wow, the Raptors are in the NBA Finals. How'd that happen? They're quiet. Nobody's talking about the Raptors. Kawhi Leonard, he's been there. He's been to the finals with the Spurs. He has experience. The Raptors are looking good. They're a threat to the Warriors repeating. The Raptors are legit threats, and a major part of that is Kawhi Leonard. I think they should be the favorites to go to the finals right now in the Eastern Conference. They have more experience than Giannis and the Young Bucks. I'm excited to see what happens. Let's see what Kawhi can do in the postseason. Moving on to the 5th player. I always found Kevin Durant interesting. He's a 6'9" small forward that could shoot like a point guard. He moves like a point guard, but he grabs rebounds and plays physical like a center. I always thought KD had potential to be a top 3 player in the NBA. Kevin Durant consistently shoots 50% from the field. He shoots great shots. He can make almost any shot you give him. He's a solid rebounder, a solid passer. He does everything you want out of a small forward. But Kevin Durant does have his flaws. When Kevin Durant is given too many responsibilities and he has to handle the ball, he tends to turn the ball over. He's too small to guard bigger forwards like LeBron and he isn't the most athletic small forward we've seen in the league. Kevin Durant has hard time guarding players like Giannis and LeBron James because they're so much bigger than him. They could manhandle him, especially in the post. But Kevin Durant does have strengths, obviously. He's one of the best players in the world. He could shoot threes, one of the best three-pointing shooting small forwards of all time. He could drive. He has a great mid-range, handles the game well. When the game's on the line, you could count on him to make a big shot. It's all there. But the small things such as not being as athletic and being as strong as other players can cause you to fall down in this list. It's so close when it comes to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Just like I said before, it just gets so close around here. Your frame and your physical attributes matter so much. It's small things like that that can move you up and down the list. So Kevin Durant is one of the greatest players of all time. He could shoot, he could drive, he has good defensive skills, but athleticism wise, he's not the best, which puts him at number 5, which is a great spot for Kevin Durant still. Still one of the greatest players in the NBA. Moving on to number 6. Coming in at number 6, Anthony Davis, the Brow. A lot of you guys think he's a top 3 player, and I completely agree. There's only one problem with Anthony Davis. His team is garbage. Like, the Pelicans are absolutely terrible. They are 12th place in their conference. That's terrible, especially with the talent they have. They have Drew Holiday, they have Julius Randle, they have Anthony Davis. I don't know what is the problem with this team. I mean, look at his stats. Second in points per game, third in rebounds, second in blocks per game. One of the best two-way players in the NBA. But the Pelicans are the 12th seed. He's not by himself. He's not playing with scrubs. He's got Drew Holiday. He's got Julius Randle. He's got Mirotic. What is wrong with the Pelicans? Why are they so bad this season? That is such a bad sign on Anthony Davis and his career. Anthony Davis, if he was at least the 8th seed, that would make him look 10 times better. He would be top 4 for me right now. Just because the Pelicans are so garbage, I can't put him any higher than 6. I can't. You can't play well. Stats aren't everything. Success and how your team is doing is huge. You can't be first in every category and be last place in the conference. I've got to see how you do in the playoffs. Last time I checked, Anthony Davis got swept by the Warriors in the playoffs. Just Anthony Davis has a lot to work on. Not the best passer. A lot of people say he can't shoot, but I don't mind that. I like my power forwards to be in the post and work the post way more than be shooting threes. It's just the main thing that just pulls him down is that the Pelicans are so garbage, and you see it statistically. He's doing great. He's number 1 in efficiency rating. Number 1. He's 10 points above LeBron James, which is huge. Anthony Davis is an obvious MVP candidate if the Pelicans weren't so bad. I mean, let's look at the positive of Anthony Davis. Great in the post, one of the best post players in the NBA. An elite shot blocker. Could guard almost anybody in the post. He could guard any center, I feel like. He's got a nice mid-range. He plays smart. He's so big, and he plays well. He used to be a point guard, so he knows how to dribble the ball. He knows how to work. He knows how to work the post. He's one of the greatest rebounders in the NBA. I mean, look at him. He dribbles the ball like a point guard. He has everything you want. Just he cannot carry his team to at least the 8th seed. That drops him so low. Sorry, Anthony Davis, but you're the 6th. You're the 6th best player. When this man gets hot, there's nobody stopping him. Back-to-back MVP, the greatest three-point shooter of all time, one of the greatest handles of all time, Stephen Curry. We know what Stephen Curry could do. He could dribble the ball, shoot threes, and drive. Stephen Curry is amazing. We don't have to sit here and talk about his strengths because we all know it. Great passing, great handles, great shot. It's been repeated over and over again. One problem with Stephen Curry, though, kind of one-way player. Great offensively, struggles defensively. And I know what you guys are going to say. Well, Stephen Curry's a great defender. Let's be real, guys. Come on. Stephen Curry is known for his offense. He's not a lockdown defender. He's not going to sit there and lock down Kyrie. He's not going to sit there and lock down Russell Westbrook. He has struggled with his size. He's a small guard. He's skinny. He's not that strong. Almost the same as Kevin Durant. Ironically, they play on the same team. I mean, come on, guys. Just because he's Steph Curry doesn't mean we have to sit here and, well, yeah, Steph is, he gets steals and, they win games. Come on, guys. This guy's an offensive player. He's an offensive player. His handles are built with his shot. It's not like he's sitting there like Kyrie and building his shot off his handles. His handles are good because of his shot. People have to respect that shot so much. He fakes the shot and then dribbles right by him. I'm not saying Curry has bad handles, but it's not the best. He's not known for just setting up his shots. Even though he does have some of the greatest handles in history, it's because of his shot. He turns the ball over a lot. He's inconsistent. Some nights he'll score 20 points. Others he'll go for 45. I mean, Steph is a very hot and cold player. That's one problem with Steph Curry. It's just it's hard to put him above guys like Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis because he's a one-way player. He's not two-way. He doesn't lock up guys. If he improved on his defense, he got bigger, maybe it'll be a different story. But at the same time, if he got bigger, I don't think he'd be the same Steph Curry. He wouldn't be as fast. He wouldn't be as good offensively. So I think Steph Curry is perfect right where he's at 7. I still think he's the best point guard in the NBA. Steph Curry at 7. Next player. Honestly, I don't know where I stand on Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is extremely athletic and extremely explosive. Most explosive player in the NBA, maybe right next to LeBron James. That's what makes him so good. But Russell Westbrook has a lot of weaknesses. A lot. Let's ignore the triple-double. He averages a triple-double per game. Great. Cool. But Russell Westbrook can't shoot. He turns the ball over. Doesn't play defense. And he's a stat hoarder. The Thunder are the 3rd seed. But is that really because of him? He's not clutch. He misses a lot of shots when the game's on the line. Is that really because of Russell Westbrook that they're the 3rd seed? Offensively, Russell Westbrook is not very good, to be honest. Not very good. Why do you think Kevin Durant left? Because Russell Westbrook is a me player. Russell Westbrook, I've seen him steal rebounds from Steven Adams. I've seen him leave his player early to run to the rim to get the board. He doesn't care about winning. You think Russell Westbrook cares about if he gets a ring or not? Heck no. Do you think Kevin Durant cared if he got a ring or not? Yes, he did. So he got out of OKC as soon as possible. Because nobody could play with Westbrook. Except for Paul George, apparently. And Steven Adams. Think about everybody. Ibaka, James Harden, Kevin Durant. They all left. Nobody could play with this guy. Selfish. One of the most selfish players in the NBA. He shoots 24% from the three-point line. 40% from the field goal, just regular field goal percentage, and 65% for his free throw percentage. So he could get fouled when he drives, but he can't make the free throw. 65% from a point guard is not very good. Russell Westbrook is a me player, and that's his biggest issue. He doesn't care about getting a ring. He doesn't care about bringing a championship home to OKC. He cares about money. He cares about what his stats look like. He cares about MVP. He cares about triple doubles. He cares if he gets defensive rebounds. That's all he cares about. He gets mad if he doesn't take the last shot. When Paul George, in reality, should be taking the last shot. That's Russell Westbrook's problem. Russell Westbrook isn't all bad, though. He's good at setting up on defense. He gets steals. Like I said, he's explosive. He can make shots. He's not incapable of making shots, but he's inconsistent. But like I said, he's explosive. He could dunk on people. He could drive. He could stop on a dime on a fast break and hit a mid-range. He could kick it out to his players. I'm not saying Russell Westbrook is a bad player. But small things Russell Westbrook could fix, and he could become an elite player. He could be the best point guard in the NBA. Just right now, the me stuff is not working. He's not the best point guard in the NBA. You got to put him at 8 because he gets the triple doubles. He is explosive. He has talent, a lot of natural talent. Just the me stuff is dropping him down. So that's number 8. Let's move on to number 9. You guys don't understand how close I was to putting Paul George over Russell Westbrook. I swear I was this close. Paul George is top 5 best two-way player in the NBA. Paul George, his defensive efficiency over 100 possessions is number 1. He allows the least amount of points over 100 possessions over any other player in the NBA. He's great defensively. Second in steals at 2.3. He could score the basketball. He could shoot threes. He has a nice mid-range. He has nice handles for a small forward. He's clutch. He hits big shots when they need him. One thing about Paul George that I don't like is he's very hot and cold. He'll score 0 points in the first, 5 points in the second, 15 points in the third, and then in the fourth he'll score like 25. Super inconsistent. He's not consistent throughout the game. He's not consistent throughout games. If Paul George could show me just a little bit more consistency, he would move up over Westbrook in my opinion. I think he's better than Russell Westbrook. He doesn't turn the ball nearly as much as Russell. Paul's not a selfish player. He wants to win games. That's something I love about Paul George. Just for his size and the way he moves, he's so athletic, and I love that about Paul George. But like I said, not very consistent. He's hot and cold. He'll score 5 points in the quarter, then 25, then 4 points. If Paul George could just improve his consistency, he would be above Russell Westbrook. I think he's one of the best small forwards in the NBA right now. But yeah, besides those weaknesses, like I said, he could shoot the basketball from anywhere on the court. When he gets hot, it's hard to stop him. He's capable of putting up 40-point nights, 30-point nights. You know, he's capable of putting up 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 35 points, 5 steals. He's capable of doing that. But the question is, can he do it consistently? And I haven't seen him do it consistently. I haven't seen how he does in the playoffs. He hasn't been in the playoffs enough for me to judge his performance. I need to see what he does. The Thunder are the 3rd seed. I think he's a bigger reason over Russ Westbrook. I think he's, I don't want to say a more important piece, but Westbrook does cost the Thunder more games than Paul George cost the Thunder more games. But at the same time, Russell does put the Thunder in more positions to win. So you can't really say that. I mean, it evens out. But I do think if Paul George improves on his consistency, he'd be above Russell Westbrook. One of the best small forwards in the game, Paul George. Now, you want to talk about physically dominant? Joel Embiid is the definition of that. He's a double-double machine. He could get boards. He could score in the post. He has good handles. He could make threes sometimes. He's everything you want in a center. He's a great teammate. Joel Embiid is on pace to be a top 3 NBA player in 5 years. Embiid is showing growth in every category. Embiid is a great shot blocker. He's long and athletic, so it's easy for him to block shots. He has a good mid-range for center, and he's improving, like I said, every time. His mid-range is getting better every game I see him. Only problem with Joel Embiid is that he misses too many games. He needs to stay healthy. Joel Embiid, as you guys know, is a fragile player. He's getting better, but I still don't trust him fully until he proves to me that he could play 82 games consistently. And he's still young. He has some kinks. He doesn't show up as much when the game's on the line. And Joel Embiid, it's obvious he's a young player, and there's things he needs to work on, like being clutch when the game's on the line and staying healthy. He needs to work on his body a little bit. He's big though, so that's what you should expect. He's gonna get injured. A lot of big guys get injured, but it's hard for the guy to play 50 games a year, and I don't think that's asking a lot out of an NBA player. So Embiid, if he could play a full season, and I don't even think there's anything big that's holding Embiid back. I just think he's young and he's still a B- in some categories, and in a few years, Embiid could be a top 5 player in the NBA, and I'm sure of it. Right now, he's at 10, and he's barely pushing it with one more player. I'm gonna talk about him next, a guy who just missed the list. But I think Embiid deserves the spot over a lot of players in the NBA. You could argue the 10th place to a lot of guys, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, a lot of guys, Nikola Jokic. So I think Embiid has proven he's one of the best big men in the league, and he comes in at 10. I'm sorry, Kyrie lovers. I know there's a lot of you guys out there, but your man just missed the list, just by a little bit. It was debatable. I was really debating him and Joel Embiid at the 10th spot, but I put Embiid because I think Embiid plays better defense than Kyrie, and that's Kyrie's problem. We're going to get to that, but let's talk about Kyrie's strengths because Kyrie is obviously one of the best offensive players in basketball. He's an incredible three-point shooter, the best handles in the NBA. He'll drive the basketball and get fouled, and you don't have to worry about him missing free throws, unlike some players in the NBA like Westbrook, a point guard that shoots 65% from the free throw line. I mean, Kyrie makes 50% of his shots. He's 41% from the three-point line and 85% from the free throw line. He could shoot, he could pass, he could dribble. Offensively, he's so dangerous, and he's very clutch. He could hit big threes when they need him to. The only problem with Kyrie is he's not known as a very good defender. He gets cooked a lot by good point guards, and he doesn't try as much on the defensive end as I mean, just like Russell Westbrook, who spends all his energy offensively, that he doesn't have that much energy to play defense. Just like Kyrie, I feel like he's so offensive minded. When it gets to defense, he's okay with getting scored on because he knows that he could come back and make a good play on offense. And like I said earlier, it's so hard to get into the top 10 list. If it comes to the point where if you're not very good on defense, you'll be knocked out. You you realize that a lot of these guys I've mentioned are two-way players. They're very good defensively, but they're all very good offensively. They're good at both, and Kyrie is just a below average defender. He's great offensively. He's top 10 top 10 offensive player in the NBA, but defensively he has a lot to work on, and we haven't seen him carry a team yet. He has weapons on the Celtics. He has a good team. He has Horford. He has Tatum. He has Jalen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier. He's got a good team. What can he do with it though? I want to see him during playoff time. I want to see him improve his defense. When that happens, he'll easily. I'll be more than happy to put Kyrie into the top 10 players. I love Kyrie. He's a great player. I think he's the third best point guard in the NBA right now. I put him above Damian Lillard and Kyle Lowry and John Wall. I think offensively he's terrific, and Kyrie just missed the list sadly, but like I said, he's got a long career and he's got a long way to improve. So that's about it, guys. Thank you for listening. I put a lot of work and I had a lot of opinions on this topic. As you could tell, this is one of my longest videos at 28 minutes or 29 minutes, whatever it comes down to. Like again, thank you for listening. If you don't agree with my list, I would be very interested to hear your list. So go ahead and tell me. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe so you guys are notified when I post a new video. A lot of videos are coming up. More NBA, more NFL, some baseball once the season gets started, UFC, boxing. Everything's coming your way. So once again, thank you guys for listening to this long video. If you have different opinions, I'd love to hear it, and I'll see you guys soon.